We're back with another SPY pre-market analysis video. It is July 5th, 2023. It is the first official trading day of the month, and without further ado, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna hop into the video. Alright, so first thing we're gonna do, we'll just go over this real quick. I did record this video already one time, however I recorded it on the wrong screen. So I was talking, and the whole time you guys are staring at the absolute other screen. As you guys know, I have two screens. If you watch the channel, you know I have two screens. But I was recording my other screen the whole time, and I didn't get any of the levels that marked here. So we're just going to review this real quick. First thing we have, mark this high here. This is Monday's candle, right? So we marked the high Monday's candle. We did mark the close, the open, and the low, but we did end up changing them to zones. As we'll see in a moment as we start to drop down in our time frames. We have this daily gap here that has been marked since Monday. Ultimately, what we'd like to see happen is price to reverse, close this daily gap, and then either continue up or go ahead and make another low somewhere down here. Ideally, that's what we'd like to see, but we do have this huge gap here on the daily time frame that we'd like to see get filled. So we're gonna drop down to our 4 hour. Now on our 4 hour, we did have this little zone here, right? As you see, this little zone came from this open here, or not open, but this close. Actually, I don't know if this is open or the close. It's hard to tell when my candles are all the same color, but we're going to say it came from somewhere within this candle, and we use the bottom of this candle as well as this wick to actually form this zone. Above that, we do have the high from Monday here. There's a small gap here, but we didn't mark that because that'd be adding too much noise to our chart, right? And the gap is from this candle, this candle wick here, to this candle body here. I'm sure you guys can see that. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna drop down to our 1 hour. Next thing we have on our 1 hour, we do have a couple zones that are kind of important, and as you see, this little skinny zone does become a little more clear as to why it's there. When we drop down to the 1 hour, we do have a wick here, we have a wick here, this candle explodes past, and we pull back right into this zone, and then once again we double top up here. As you can see right now, price action doing some wonky shit within this 1 hour candle here. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and drop down to the 15 minutes so we can see if we can capture some of this wonky price action live on video. Alright, we're going to continue our analysis now. It doesn't look to be going too crazy when we drop down time frames. Anyway, we have more zones here. So this zone starts with the bottom of these candles and extends just a little bit past these wicks here. We don't capture this whole wick here. Why don't we capture this whole wick here? It's not really important. Most of the wicks for this zone are bouncing right in between here. So that's another zone that we pulled over. Then we have this zone here. Where does this zone come from? The start of it comes from a lower time frame, I'm sure. 30-minute time frame. It really starts right here on this candle, the open of this candle, and then it is extended to the bottom of these wicks. If we go back to the 1 hour, as you see, we have some bodies that form right within this zone here. So we're going to treat that as a valid zone to watch. And then we have this third and final zone down here that starts at the top of this wick here and extends to the bottom of this candle here, past the bottom of this candle. This wick's at that big daily gap we were talking about. So that's why it's not extended all the way to the bottom here. So top of this wick, we extend it all the way. If you pay attention to our pre-market data now, we have a wick here. We have a candle close right at the top of it. And now we have price action right within this zone. Past that, we did have our pre-market high, or our pre-market high that we're going to be paying attention to. Now, why are we paying attention to this specific high? Price dropped down here. We bounced at this bottom zone here, and when we bounced, we pay attention to where price reverses again, right? So we have this bounce, and then boom, price reverses again right here. So we mark this as our pre-market high to watch. If price is going to get above that, we look for more continuations to the upside, up to this zone, and then above this, we look for, and I'll just mark it on the chart just so we have it on there. If price is going to get above this, the first place we look for price to go is into this zone, and then above this zone, we look for price to be trying to come up to here. Now, are there other places that price could go and reverse at before it gets up to here? Absolutely. We could get into this zone, we could get above, and we could reverse at any point in here. But ideally what we'd like to see is it to come back to where it started dropping from, and then above that we'd be looking for it to gap close. But before the gap close, we'd have to come into this zone, and then we'd see the gap close if we were to break above that zone there. Anyway, like I was saying, price reversed down here, and when price reversed down here, the next spot we would be looking for, this was a pre-market low, right? So we had this candle here, and we had these wicks here. We were paying attention to see if price could get below this little neckline that was formed, and as you see right now, price is chugging past that little neckline. We do have this very heavily manipulated candle here. Price broke under here, and then we somehow opened up here, and then got manipulated all the way up here, and now we're making another low down past this zone. Now, these zones could very well be broken in pre-market, and we'd have to come up with new plans and theses during intraday trading, which don't correlate to what we're saying right now in our pre-market analysis. But as long as we have these zones, we can see where price has previously been. It's not going to be too much of a hassle to create a new thesis. So below this, we'd be looking for price to come down into this daily zone here, this daily gap that we have. Let's say we do get into this daily gap. Well, the first spot we're going to be looking for price to go within this daily gap is going to be here. We'll make that visible like that. If we break into this daily gap, the first place we look for price to go is to come down here, and below that point we'd be looking for price to come to about right here. Now those are going to be our downside targets if price breaks below this zone and breaks into this daily gap here. First place, if we come down here, we look for a reversal back up to this zone. We don't get the reversal to this zone and we break below here, we look for price to come down to this level here. So these are going to be our levels and zones that we're watching for July 5th, 2023. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys have any questions, be sure to leave them down in the comments below. Other than that, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow, and retweet for more. And I'll see you guys at market open. Peace.